I do think there's a core to this team, and maybe Grier is like the determining factor as to us getting over that hurdle, right? Like
I saw a thing that the firing of Grier might have broken the curse,
right? That's what it feels like. I mean, fuck, you never beat the Bills, right? And not only do you not ever beat the Bills, but we beat the Bills by 2 scores, and apparently the Bills have not in 7 years have not lost to a division opponent by double digits.
That's crazy, and I love that it was us.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tranquilo Sports. We are here on a Victory Tuesday.
Woo.
And we're feeling good.
I'm feeling good. Like I should.
It was, I mean, you beat the Bills, and it's just, you got to be in a good mood. These things don't happen. Gotta celebrate the wins when they come.
Yeah, it doesn't even you throw kind of the season out the window.
100%.
Right? Like, obviously, we've talked about it at length, of how the season has gone. But when you beat Buffalo, you get the chance to beat Buffalo. It's our biggest rival right now. Probably, obviously any of the three. I hate Buffalo. I hate Buffalo more than all of them, to be honest with you. So any chance that I get to celebrate a win over the Buffalo Bills, I will take it gladly. We could have been 0-9 up until this point, and I would be celebrating just as much with this win. So amazing. 100%. It was amazing.
It's one of those things too. It wasn't even like the fact that we beat Buffalo. It's the way we beat Buffalo.
We beat that ass, dude.
Ton of Bills fans there, like thinking that they were going to be there. You're getting an easy dub, celebrating in Miami, and we reversed that on them fast. Fast.
No, they came down and they're like, let's take over elbow room, and Mike had other plans, and Mike had to let him know, baby.
What do you think about that whole situation? Mike just taking a cruise down Las Olas to go check out what's going on over there at elbow room?
I think it's an awesome move by him. I think, listen, again, the season hasn't gone like he's probably wanted the season to go.
Yeah.
But I think this win, you can see it in the locker room, the way the guys celebrated. They just look like they're having fun, and this win meant a lot to them.
Yes.
And so, like, a little thing like Mike, just kind of trolling a little bit and passing by the elbow room. He didn't do anything crazy. He just drove by and kind of gave him a wink and nod, like, yeah, we just beat you. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a fun thing. I know some people were like crying, like, "Oh, would Shula do this?" Like, no, dude, but like,
just let him have
fun, dude. Like,
he lives in the area, wants to take a nice drive down the beach.
Exactly.
Remember that he's here in South Florida, and being able to soak in that
100%. And by the way, if Shula would have done that, I would have celebrated it just as much. You know what I mean? Like, if Shula's at elbow room, like fuck you, Buffalo. Like, oh yeah, it's fun. I think it's fun. It's a fun thing that he did, and it's nice to see him, have a little. He's his press conferences are definitely way more, I guess, tame than some in the past. Obviously, when we were winning, and it's fun to see him, have a little fun, and get to enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it's not, it's something we can build off of, and yeah. But I had no problems with that. I thought it was a fun little thing.
Absolutely. And you brought up something interesting, right? The locker room.
Yeah.
You're sitting at 2-7 going into this game. You just fired your GM, right? Your GM for a long time.
Yeah.
The question is, like, what would this team, look like moving on through the rest of the season, right? And like, to your point, we haven't played well up to this point. Our record obviously doesn't, I don't think, do justice. We've been in a lot of close, in a lot of close games that we should have won on, on paper, depending how, the way those games kind of ended. But this team sitting at 2-6, you're going into Buffalo that is significantly better than us record-wise, right? And you're like, oh man, like, the season's over, right?
Yeah.
And then you see how these guys react in the locker room, right? Because it's like, is Mike the guy? Is he the answer, a head coach? These guys seem to want to play for Mike, and them winning and then celebrating with Mike in the locker room, right? You see Achane, you see Jaylen Waddle jumping around Mike like that, right? Like, it was a sick scene to see, because we have been so depleted, not only as fans, but I'm sure in the locker room they've been depleted as hell. And then you see a guy like Jalen Phillips get traded, your GM get fired, and it's like, well, you guys, like, the season's over. Like, God knows what's going to happen to all of us. Waddle was in trade rumors too. Achane, obviously,
Chubb,
no way
guys,
you were going to trade him. But, like, you're at the point is, like, it's rebuild, right? So you got to let everyone go who's really going to be a Dolphin anymore.
Yeah.
And here we are playing against Buffalo, and we dominate in all phases of the game.
Yeah.
And then you see Weaver dabbing up Mike and chest bumping him. It was like it was such a big win, not only for like the players, obviously for the organization because you're beating your division rival.
Yeah.
But it was showing some sort of life that still exists in that locker room and them fighting for each other.
Yeah.
Which is great to see because you have no reason really to fight. I mean, you see other teams like the Jets and the Saints, they won this weekend too.
Yeah.
And you hear all this terminology of tank and tank and tank, right? When you're at this point of the season. But it's like, you have hope, right? And I'm not saying that we're going to go on a run and we can go make the playoffs. Maybe we can.
I am.
And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that because I am bought in as we're always bought in.
Yes.
But more than anything, I saw that video in the locker room and it was like, okay, these guys clearly want to play. They want to play for Mike and they want to play in a way that they're like, hey, like there's still something here.
For sure. No, I completely agree with you. And it's good to see too, because even like the last couple of weeks, like we've fought hard, right? But like there's a part of me like, man, did this team just like give up? But all the noise, like people were saying like all the reports were like, this team has not quit on Mike. He has not lost the locker room. And I was like, really, man, like the way we've lost these games, like it seems so demoralized. We've got so much happening behind the scenes. This game proved, and that just the video of the locker room really proved that he still has that grasp on the guys. Like these guys are still fighting for him. They have, respect for him and he's doing all he can and to try to still win games, right?
Absolutely.
No one's trying to tank in that locker room.
No.
And the thing is too, it's like the way that the season has kind of played out, obviously we're in a very tough spot and we still have a long way to go. But like you mentioned, like so many of those games could have gone our way. So it shows that there is something in there.
Yes.
They just haven't been able to do it, but maybe this is like, this looked like a spark. Like this looked like a completely different team. Like even the games that we were in, we didn't look like this.
Right.
Like this is the best that we've looked all season. And it was just dominating. We were dominating a very good team. And by the way, we played them well the first time too.
We did. I mean, you're talking about a sealer, running into the punter play that could have altered the way that game goes and you win that game.
So it's just exciting. It's fun, man. Obviously, I want to win. Like no matter what, like even like
100%.
on the bad seasons and listen, I've said it myself. I'm like, man, like I'm already thinking of draft picks. But then like one game, I see like the potential of this team. We've always seen the potential in this team, and it's nice to see it come together in a way of again one of our biggest rivals and in a big game. Like that's one of the best teams. They're Super Bowl favorites going into that game, and we knocked them off a few pegs. And so that, I will always celebrate that. And
absolutely.
I'm ecstatic. Like I walked out of that stadium with just the biggest like shit-eating grin and like, like you know what I mean?
It feels good to beat Buffalo. It feels good when your team is playing well. And I think that's been like the commonality behind this year, right? You look at the Falcons game as well. That was one of the games that we played complimentary football across every single facet, and that's the number one pass defense in the NFL. And we were doing whatever we wanted in that game, right? Defense played electric in that game as well. And then you look at the last 4 weeks, we're playing like a top 5 defense right now. Like,
very impressive. It's the most shocking thing for sure.
A complete flip. You're talking about bottom 3 defense to now like playing like a top 5 defense, which is what we knew that this defense can be under Weaver, right? We've seen it in the past. We lost, obviously, a ton of guys, so we didn't think the defense would be as good as past, right? Like in the past. But we also didn't think it would be as bad as what we saw, especially when you thought, going into the season, Sealer, Chop.
That front seven.
Like everybody there on that line, Chubb. Like we thought, okay, this team's going to be good. And now here we are seeing glimpses of it. And even guys, young guys coming up and making plays. Minka having a great game.
Yes.
Jordan Brooks is on a freaking tear right now.
Yep.
Freaking tear. So it's like you see these pieces on this team and you're like, there's something here, right? And I was having an interesting conversation this morning at the gym, right? And it was like, these are guys that Grier had bought in, right? These are guys that he drafted, traded. But is there something else that was maybe going on behind the scenes that like, okay, Grier got a couple guys here and there. He hit on a couple trades, a couple picks. But I think schematically of how he's tried to build a roster in the past and his priorities are what screwed this team over in the the longevity of our struggles. But what maybe he's done well is picked a couple guys, and we could build off of that, right? You got Devon Achane, you got Patrick Paul. Tua is still
Patrick Paul, good call because he's
been great.
He's been amazing.
He's been great. Aaron Brewer, another guy that's been great, right? And then obviously you have guys like AJ and Daniels that have been hurt that hopefully now can come back in the latter half of this year. But there is something there. Like a lot of these games that we've lost, like you were talking about, have been close games, right? Those are games that could have flipped either way. And you're talking the difference between being a 6-win team versus a 3-win team right now. Maybe even a 7-win team. And changes the whole dynamic of your season completely. There's something I think that this team can build off of. Whether we go on a run here at the end of the year, TBD. But even if we finish with 8-9 wins, it sucks for the sake of like the draft picks. And here we are kind of like going through
in the same middle motion
situation. But I do think there's a core to this team. And maybe Grier is like the determining factor as to us getting over that hurdle, right? Like
I saw a thing that the firing of Grier might have broken the curse,
right? That's what it feels like. I mean, fuck, you never beat the Bills, right? And not only do you not ever beat the Bills, but we beat the Bills by 2 scores. And apparently, from my boy Chris, he told me this today, that the Bills have not, in 7 years, have not lost to a division opponent by double digits.
That's crazy. And I love that it was us. I love it.
Like, it's talk about breaking a curse.
It's impressive. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like our curses might have been lifted with Grier. And by the way, we did let go of 2 more people today.
I did see that on the scouting names. Department.
On me, but 2 guys that, and actually I think the Dye Bar guys, I think Bobby might have tweeted about it. Grier had been here for 25 years, and these guys same time, like 26 or 28 or something.
Staff that we've had.
You know, I know we're still making moves, but I'm liking the direction, and I agree with you in terms of the core, right? Funny enough, I brought this up a couple weeks ago when we were actually with the Dye Bar guys in terms of like who would shock us in a trade or who should we trade, and I brought up should we think about trading Achane in terms of value wise, right? I want to punch that moron in the face, and by moron I mean myself, because I want to extend this guy for 30 years.
Me too, man.
He is
give
so
him whatever
good.
The hell he wants.
Whatever the hell he wants. He is so good, so electrifying. Like, God, man, and it's so like. It's crazy because going into the season, he was a little dinged up, and like it's like, man, he's his stature catching up to. Bro, this guy every week just tops himself.
Buffalo
it's crazy.
knew we were running the ball in that point of the game twice, and he breaks 2 long runs.
Man,
complete
so good.
Obvious freaking running scenarios.
He's so good.
He's a guy that obviously you build around as explosive offense. You have Jaylen Waddle, you have Patrick Paul, you have Aaron Brewer. You have pieces, man. You have pieces. I still think Tua can be the guy with the right, infrastructure. We haven't invested in the offensive line in ways that I think we could. Have we drafted? Yes. God knows we've tried, right? Yeah. But I still think, and I think this goes back to that whole Grier thing, right? His mentality of like how to build the roster was one way, right? And he was fixated on. He got the stars. Ross writes paychecks whenever he wants to write paychecks. So it's not like we haven't tried, but I think schematically. And I think maybe that's part of this whole thing with with Mike and why Mike has stayed is where Ross sees a vision where Mike still is that genius, right? That
Ross
we've seen. He calls good games like we talked about in some of the games that we've lost.
He's had a lot of good games. Like even the ones we've lost, he's called great games.
Exactly. So you lean into that, right? But Mike on paper, right, is saying like, hey, I know I can figure this out, but we need this, and this. Yeah. Maybe him and Grier didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of those things or said, hey, we could do it, but it's got to go this way, right? And I think maybe that could be the difference maker where maybe Mike, we've seen it, like we were talking about with the players, is enough to win games. He could still figure out the Tua situation, right? And then now a GM comes in and it's like sees the vision of what Mike wants to do with this offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think that it could also just be a pivot in Mike because now Mike, he's on year 4, right? Because to what I will give credit to Grier in the sense of in terms of the build, right? He went out to get guys that in the beginning fit Mike's system, right? The speed.
Speed for sure.
Right? And I think as we've gone, obviously we've learned that you can still be good with that, but you do need to build toughness, and the trenches are obviously very important. And they never had any focus in that in the beginning,
right?
So I wonder if obviously we need to pivot, to that because our run. I mean, I agree with you in terms of like building around Achane. He's incredible. I do want to touch on Waddle as well because I've been somebody who's been big on the Waddle side. I've always been a big Waddle guy. His one thing is, sometimes he does get. I don't know why he takes himself out all the time. Whatever, it's a little thing. We'll live with it. He's a wide receiver 1 in this league. Like he is a wide receiver 1. Like he continues to prove it. And And even when we had Reek, like people just forget how good he was because of, obviously Tyreek's greatness, right? And yes, like Waddle, had probably a little bit of a drop off last year in terms of like production compared to the year before, which he had a great year. But like now with Tyreek gone, like it's proving to everyone again that this guy is still a wide receiver 1 and why we drafted him so high. And he's been killing it. Like this, like even in the games that we do lose, like he's still like the bright spot. So
100%.
him and Achane, like
yes,
those are pillars to build around. And obviously it starts with that offensive line.
Yes.
And then in terms of the Tua thing, I'm still not fully sold back on Tua. I am not.
I get it. I get it.
I am not. I still think we should draft a quarterback this year, whether it's using a first-round pick on it. It depends where we land. Probably not. But I do think we should have a rookie that's not a 7th-round pick. I think it's like maybe the first 3 rounders. I do. If the chips fall to us, I still think we should do it because we still have the option next year, right? The Tua option.
Right.
Tua's going to be our quarterback next year no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's the option at the end of that year that if we do, we do have to have a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Right? We absolutely still do. But, if we are able to build up the line again, right? And then obviously we still, as good as the defense is playing, there's still some missing pieces, but it's just impressive what Weaver's been able to do with that unit because like it feels like it was like every week we were losing a new person.
Bro, no Chop and no Jaylen.
Yeah. And then even like a Storm Duck,
and Russell Douglas,
yeah, like
and Cater
if
Kohu,
we were
obviously.
losing guys like left and right, and the fact that they've been able to like put together some of these performances against impressive, especially this Bills performance, it's really cool to see. It's awesome to see, and it's at the end of the day, even if we don't make the run, right? Obviously, now it's like we have a few winnable games,
right?
But like it's a lot of these guys like experience, get them like you want to build that culture. Like it starts now when you're in.
Exactly.
You're kind of in the dumps, but like prove me who you are. Like show me what you have when we're down, and see how well we can do.
Right.
Can we do the run? Can we go on another run like we did a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can. But I think we'll see a lot of people's characters, and
absolutely
we'll see truly more if people are fully bought in with Mike Weaver. And I think. So far, what I've seen, they are, and they want to win for these guys. Sure. And I think, I think we can. I think we can, which we'll touch on.
Yeah.
But I think we can go on a little run here.
No, for sure. I mean, I think this Bills game was that catalyst, right? Yeah. Because you lose this game, then you're sitting at 2-8, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Not pretty much. Your season's over at that point, right? Like there's I mean, as it is, just winning this game, there's still a very
we need a lot of things to fall in our place.
Of hope. But losing to Buffalo, like again, let's say it was a close game and you lose another demoralizing, like close game. Like it's hard to hold on to life at that point.
For sure.
Now you win this game, right? And then you look at the next, 4 weeks essentially, right? It's Commanders in Spain, then it's bye week, Saints, Jets, right? You look at that stretch, I think everyone there on that stretch is a 2 or 3 win team, right? Mm-hmm. Commanders don't have Jayden Daniels and a bunch of other injuries, right? Then it's a Saints team that Saints and Jets won this week, for whatever that's worth. But we know we're better than we know we're better than them, right? So if you look at those next 3 games, you're talking about a team that's 6-7 with like 3-4 weeks left in the season.
Yeah,
that brings a new sense of hope. And to your point, is like, where is this team mentally and how much are they going to fight to give them that chance? Because if this team is legit, right, and this team is bought in Mike, and Mike is the guy, and Weaver's the guy, and these pieces are bought in to play for those guys, you win the next 3 weeks without even a question.
We'll be favored in all 3 too. So like these are the ones you have to take care of, and then you've got the last 4, which are, in terms of opponents level, is they're going to be harder games. But none of them that I think that
if we're clicking on all cylinders,
and we're on a run and we're 4 games in and we're seeing red, baby. We're like we see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like no one's getting in our way.
Mm-hmm. 6 and 7 will create that feeling though for that team.
I agree.
6 and 7 will change the dynamic of preparation. Yeah, not to take anything away. Obviously these guys prep every single week. It's their job, and they fight every single week, and we know that. But there's just a different level that you're going to hit.
We can do this.
That you're 6 and 7 with 4 games left, or whatever. Yeah, 4 games left. You're like, guys, we could do this. We could do this.
I've got something for you. If we do go on a run, right? Let's say 10-7, 9-8,
Yeah.
Right. We get to 9. Let's say we at least get to 9 wins. Is Mike McDaniel the head coach next year?
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he will be. I think he will be.
Mike will hold on his job if he finishes the season strong. Again, like we talked about, there's 3 games right here that are very winnable, right?
Yeah.
Between the teams that we just listed. And then we have that tougher stretch. It's like Patriots, Bucks, Bengals, and then I think there's one more.
It's Patriots, Steelers.
Right? So obviously tougher
by
games.
the way, 2 primetime games in that slot.
Steelers on the road,
and Bengals
Patriots
at home.
on the road, and Bengals and Bucks are at home, right? So not to say that ththose are winnable games by any stretch of the imagination, but if let's say you lose 2 of those games, right, and you finish the season, on a 5-2 record, to me that's enough to keep Mike. If Mike finishes on like a losing record between like not like for the whole season, but between now and then, then I can say, you know what, I think you got to move on from Mike because there's too many winnable games in this stretch, and 2 being home games, against tougher teams, Bengals and Patriots.
I agree. I think that if he goes on a run that he deserves to keep if he's able to salvage the season, I agree that he should. My only thing in terms of whether or not he does is who we hire at GM if they want to bring their own guy, right? That's the only other scenario.
I get that.
Which does happen most of the time. But if I think Mike at this point, like if he's able to salvage the season, and let's just say, I mean, first off, if we sneak into the playoffs, he's for sure staying. There'd be no. There'd be no scenario
for sure.
But but it gives that new GM guy like, hey, like, I'm sticking with you. Like maybe we hire based on someone who is like, listen, we bring someone maybe from the Niners. Who knows? Like it's just speculation. Somebody who the McDaniel system essentially comes from. And wants to build like they built. They built that line great, and
yeah, they make it a priority.
Exactly. And so who knows? But if he's able to salvage the season, I think he's earned the right to come back.
For sure. No, playoffs, if you sneak into the playoffs with the way this season has gone, he's 1,000% the head coach next year. That then, going back to your point of the GM, right? I think it also makes the GM job that much more appetizing, right? Because it's like, okay, you guys clearly have something here, right? You have players that are bought into Mike, that are willing to fight. And there's plenty of talent on the roster of 100%. Guys that we've listed across the board. So the GM is going to be like, okay, I kind of like this position, right? And if you want to run it with Mike, I'll run it with Mike. We'll have a discussion, like what does the quarterback situation look like? What's the priorities? Where have we struggled so that we can fix that and build off of what we had? The worst possible situation, though, is that if Mike doesn't close out this season strong, right? And Ross just doesn't fire him, then that's where a problem is, because a GM is going to struggle to say, I want to take this job where you guys just finished with 5 wins on the season. You're deciding to keep your head coach and your quarterback, and say, okay, well, like this is what I got, and it's clearly not working. That's where I could see it being a tough spot. Ross, I feel like would have to fire Mike if we only win 5-6 games at this point in the season.
100%.
With what's left on the schedule, to then say, well, you know what, Mike, you're gone, and we're going to actually start with a new GM and a new head coach.
No, I really think, I mean, listen, as much, and I do think that even if we do fire Mike, like I think Mike's going to be very successful as he goes forward, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I think they're going to have to get rid of him, even if he doesn't get to, even if he has like 7 wins, I think that he's gone.
You think so?
I think it's only if he's able to salvage in a way of like 9-10 that I think he stays.
Really?
Yeah, because of the new GM, right?
Yeah.
The fact that we are bringing in a new GM, if it's 8 years, right, or 8-8, right? We're 500. I think that he's going to want to bring in his own guy. It depends. That's what I'm. Ross does. Ross is in love with Mike McDaniel. He does love Mike. So maybe, but I don't know. I think he has to fully, like, at this point, every game counts for him, and I think that he's going to have to do a massive turnaround. Because listen, like 3 weeks ago, like he could have been fired and none of us would have batted an eye.
Yeah.
Right. We're only a few weeks removed from that, he's done great these last 3 weeks, right, or a few weeks, but it needs to continue. Like he can't get away with I think he really does have to get to like at least 9.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but that's what
I get that. I just think it's a tricky situation, right? Because you have Tua again next year, no matter what.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, something crazy would have to happen.
Yeah.
From like a trade standpoint, that someone's willing to buy out a lot of that money for that contract, right? So I just don't see a world where that happens, right? So then the next thing is, if you do move on from Mike, you're bringing in a new head coach and new GM, but your hands are tied with the quarterback. Can someone then coach up Tua the way Mike did? And again, you're going into another crappy year, essentially.
I'll tell you that. If we do the full reset where it's a new coach, new GM, I guarantee you we will draft a quarterback in the first round.
Yes. But then you also probably are going to just ship Tua for something.
If anyone will take him, yeah. Or you cut him off at the end of the option. You get the 1 year of Tua with a guy behind him, and then you cut the option.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to eat that money at some capacity either way, whether he's on the roster or not.
Exactly.
So I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it starts with this Commanders game, obviously this upcoming week in Madrid.
Yeah.
And then, bye week, offensive line will probably be fully healthy by the time we get to playing New Orleans.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity. And again, these 3 games are the games that you have to win. Like 100%. For the sake of Mike, for the sake of this team.
100%.
Because to your point, we are going to be favored in all 3 of them.
Yeah.
We are the better team on paper than all 3 of them. And that's where you'll learn everything about this team. Because this team has played well enough to be in contention up to this point.
100%.
We've had some really bad breaks. We've played a little bit of sloppy football in key moments across the board, whether it's defense, Tua, whoever it may be, right?
Yeah.
There's been moments where we've lost the game, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, fuck, bro, just play a clean game and we win these games. And I think that's what Ross is holding on to. I think that's what a lot of the guys are holding on to, knowing like they've been so close. But we're going to learn everything about this team, I think, the next 3 weeks. Whether 100%. We make the playoffs or not, I think just these 3 weeks will tell you everything about this roster and about this organization as where it stands right now to make the determining factors.
I agree.
Because you lose the next 3, then you got to fucking fire Mike.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I look at that.
I agree. I'm with you 100%.
So tell me, what do we think about this Commanders game coming up this weekend? Give me a little game preview. We're going to be in Madrid.
Yep.
Which is dope.
It is sick. I actually wanted to ask you this, but I'll touch on the game first. I'm excited. I'm with you. This is a must win as must win gets. We are a better team, and the Commanders are banged up, right? So realistically, we should be. We are favorites, and coming off a huge win, taking that momentum into this game is going to be huge. And so we should. I really do think we should take care of business, and I think we will. Like if I believe the hype and everything we've just talked about,
and you see what you saw
the
this past
post game,
Sunday.
yes, exactly. Like I expect us to win this game. Maybe not comfortably. I mean, the Commanders still will put up a fight, but we should win by 7 or 10.
I will say this: the offense should have a day.
I agree. Yes,
and the defense too. I mean, the way the defense is playing, like I feel confident about the defense. It's what offense you're going to get.
Yeah.
But the Commanders rank 30th in points per game on defense and 30th in yards per game on defense. So with the way this offense is playing, we should expect an explosive day, a good clean game out of Tua and Achane, obviously to stay hot.
Keep on. So I do think that we should win. The one thing that not necessarily scares me, but and kind of want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the international games? Because the international games they're toss-ups. I mean, we just watched. It was actually a great game, the Colts-Falcons game. That was a crazy game. I think the international games bring out a lot of craziness, but also sometimes bring out the boringness because you have to deal with all the travel, the time change. And so, but what I do like is that the Dolphins are there already.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are already
They're in there as
Spain.
of this morning.
So I love that they got there early. So they'll have the week to kind of calibrate and then, continue to work. But in terms of like just international games, like what are your thoughts? Because I have some thoughts on them, but
no, for sure. I think, right, we talk about like the momentum going in this game and like, maybe we're clicking at a time that's like meaningful and all that, right? I don't know how much that actually matters now because we're going to play in Madrid. You get what I'm saying? Like we're coming off a strong win. You're coming off like a couple strings of games where you've played well and like the team seems to be finding a little bit of identity, right? How much does that really transfer now that you're going to play in Madrid, right? Because there's so many external factors around that week. You talk about travel, you talk about like the time difference, all these events going on throughout the week, right? It's like this big thing that's going on. So there's a lot of distractions, right? And sometimes because of those distractions, it doesn't really matter about where the team is at currently and how they're playing and like health and all that. Obviously those things matter, but it doesn't matter. I feel like all that matters and actually transfers over to something when you're here playing at home or here in the US.
And this is technically a home game for us.
Right. So it's like now you're going to Madrid,
Yeah.
you have this momentum, but does some of that momentum get lost a little bit because of just the nature of what goes into playing an international game?
Yeah.
So that's what I'll say about that. I still think it's enough where it's like, okay, you know what you have on the table here, and you know it's a game that you could win and should win. I just don't think, like, let's say we were playing this game at home.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to win, 33 to
We'd probably
20.
We'd probably
right?
be like 6.5 point favorites.
Right.
At home.
Where now I'm like, this is probably gonna be a close game. It probably will not be like as explosive as maybe as we think. But then again, you don't really know. But I think that I think to like sum it up, the best way to put it is like there is a disconnect when you go to play an international game where it's like everything and anything can happen. Like it doesn't matter who the better team is. It doesn't matter who's
There's like
hot
a sense
at
of
the
like
time.
that wild card aspect.
Exactly.
Of it. So,
yeah.
In general, the international games, I like the concept of them.
Oh, me too.
Right, and I like I just think that there's too many. Like I think we need to cut down. Like I think there should be.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
I know, no, they're only gonna add. They're only gonna add, which is crazy. I think there just needs to be less. Like there's no reason that we need to play 4 games in London.
Yeah.
They can have 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's remind them
That
who's the
it's-
better country.
Right. I get that. I get that.
I like the Spain. Like I like that we're going to new countries, right? Like the
Sick.
Spain one. Obviously, we have Spanish heritage, so it's sick. Like the
Right.
Miami Dolphins are playing in Spain, and I would have loved to go to this game, but I just think there's too many.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we've had like 7 weeks in a row of international games is crazy. It used to be 3. We used to have 3 games. They were all in London.
Yeah.
Like we'd have like 2, 3, whatever spread out. Now there's like 4 in London, 1 in Berlin, 1 in Brazil, 1 in Spain. It's like, okay, like it's like I get why. Like you're growing the game and I get it's cool. Like I get, but it's also just like somebody seems like, dude, there's somebody who had to stay in London. I think it was the Jags.
No, it was the Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings had to
Yeah.
stay there for 2 weeks. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like that's
it is
nuts.
crazy.
I think they should cut it down a little bit just because like I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot going into these games, and so it's not fair. Like obviously not everyone gets to play in them. So like I don't know if it's really an advantage or a disadvantage, but I'd probably lean more disadvantage to go play there. Also, you lose a home game, right?
Right. I think
one
there's
team
that.
Loses one.
You lose a home game if like that would have been the game that you would have hosted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious from like a player's perspective. Obviously, you have like the NFLPA. They vote on all this stuff. Like the players have a voice in like this decision making.
I'm
It's
sure
not.
I'm sure they
It's
like
not
it
like exactly. It's not like the NFL is like going rogue and saying, "Yo, like you're going here." Like I'm sure they talk to the Vikings, like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
What's the best possible way to do it?" It's like, okay, well, you're going to play back-to-back weeks so that you don't have to travel back and forth 2 times in a year, and you're going to get the bye week after that, right?
Yeah, I just like for me, like if you're going to do it, you're going to expand to different countries, like then you just do 1 per. Like there's no reason to have 4 games in London.
Yeah.
Like, there just really isn't. Like you can do 2 games in London, Spain, Brazil. I think they're
Mexico City.
Mexico City,
yeah.
So like it's cool, and I get the concept of growing the game, and it's awesome. I mean, for those
The
markets, I get
fans
to see
out
it.
there are
They love
like
it.
it's sick.
It's just like I don't know. Like I feel at that point you either go all in. The one thing I will say, if we have a London team, that's going too far. That's too far.
I feel like that's where it's going.
I know, but can you imagine like having to fly
I just
to
don't know how.
London to
I don't understand how logistically that becomes possible.
No, that team that's crazy. Canada makes sense, like in the sense of the MLB has a Canadian, like has multiple Canadian, has one Canadian team. NBA has Canadian teams. The NHL has 5 Canadian teams, Canadian teams. So I can see that. I'm actually shocked that we have not played in Canada, to be honest. I guess they have the Canadian Football League, but like,
no, but still,
it's not the NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that it's growing so fast. I think it needs to they need to like control themselves and like because I think it makes it cooler. Like there's one Spain game, right? So there's one time you're focusing on Spain, as opposed to like the 5 games in London. It's like it's like, oh my God, I wake up, it's like, oh my God, there's another game on in London. Like at least it's cool. Like if you're going to a new place, it's like they can do stories around that like the culture there and stuff. When you're doing it like focusing on just one place and doing so many there, I think at that point, if you're gonna do so many games over there, spread them out. Like spread the wealth. Let's go to some new places.
Yeah.
So
no, I get that. I don't know if they'll continue. I mean, unless London is like the
the thing is they do, because we've started when they branched out to the international games, started in London. So like they actually do. They're actually a huge Dolphin fan base because we played in London a lot. There's a big Dolphins fan base in London. So I'm sure
in Madrid there'll be a huge Dolphins fan base.
And I do think at this point, I think like London is like they're Jaguars fans. So like the Jaguars have played in London like 10 years in a row. Like
everyone says like if there is going to be the London team, it's going to be the Jags.
Yeah. Man, I'd be so pissed.
No, but there's no way
my team moved to London though. Like,
no,
like,
Duval is real. Duval fan base is real, and they just invested a ton of money in the stadium.
They're not going anywhere.
So they're staying there.
I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, I think I love the concept of it. I just want them to like almost diversify it. Like I want to see new places. That's why I love that we're playing in Spain. I think that's sick that we're the first team
for sure
playing in Spain
for sure.
So I'd love to like if you're gonna go full like international games, like let's explore. Like I want to try new ones.
Yeah, no, so, I'm with you. I'm with you. But it's sick that the Dolphins are playing in Madrid. I'm hyped to see what like that crowd is going to be like.
And they're playing the Real Madrid, the Bernabeu.
Yeah,
so I think
exactly.
That's I haven't been to the new one, but I went when I was living in Spain. Like I went there for the old stadium. It's the environment's sick. I mean, Madrid is an awesome city. So it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be dope.
Sure and
like a nice little like 9:30. You're waking up and football's on TV.
Little brekkie.
It's sick. It's sick. I do like the concept of waking up and like from 9:30 until 11 o'clock at night. There's football.
It really dominates the full day. Yeah,
it's a whole day, bro. Because that game's over by 12:30.
Yeah, exactly.
You watch a little bit of like the transition of like the 1 p.m. games. Then you got 1 p.m. football till 8 p.m. when the Sunday night game kicks on, and then you've got football literally every single hour of the day.
I love it.
It's fucking awesome. So good. But yeah, let's see what the Dolphins can do this weekend. I think it's going to really lead off with the offense this week, honestly, because of how the Commanders
set the tone.
Yeah, are on defense right now. They're 30th ranked defense in the NFL, so the Dolphins should have a day on offense. And I think it's the same big three. It's Achane, Waddle, and Tua. Really.
Yeah. Also, I do want to shout out Malik Washington.
Yes,
so
he's stepping up.
He's stepping up.
He's stepping up, and I like
Deutsch, not Deutsch.
The
tight end. Yeah. He had a couple big plays.
Yes.
He was used more the week before, but he's been stepping up.
Talking really quick about that too. I mean, since we've implemented that 6-man, on the line aspect, it's changed the dynamic of this offense. Like it's working really well. And I hope we obviously continue to run that because it's adding that different element of like being like physical breed of football, stacking the box, giving extra protection to Tua, adding extra protection in the running game, and it's paying off. So I really think that we could put up 30 on the Commanders this week.
Oh yeah, me too.
I really do. It should be
Team
fun.
Total slam.
Absolutely, 100%. Give me a quick score prediction for this weekend.
I'm gonna go with you in the sense I do think we're scoring over 30. I'm gonna go 31. I'm gonna go 31-21.
I like that. I was going to go 31-23.
Nice. All right. Let's go. 30. Yeah, 31-21, 31-23, or 31-23, son?
Yeah, I got 31-23.
Yeah.
I like that.
That means it's going to be,
we're going to cover.
It's going to be 31-22.
Is that scoregami right there?
Yeah, maybe. There are a few scoregamis this weekend, so.
All right. Well, enjoy Madrid on Sunday.
Yes.
If you're out there, have a good time.
Yes.
If you're not out there, wake up early, watch the game, and hopefully we get another Fins dub this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep it rolling.
It's so much nicer to do these after wins, man.
I don't know how I can keep talking about the Dolphins when they keep losing because there's only so much to talk about when they're losing. At least when you win, you got something to hope on. And week to week, it feels good. So hopefully we can stack another one this weekend.
Yep.
Another one, and then another one.
And another one. And another one.
And 7 in a row, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, guys.
Peace.